So our earliest signs were kind of mixed. We would notice little things like he was always very sensory sensitive, and he would never want tags on his shirt, and he would never look people in the eyes. And when we got into preschool, we started having some more like shouting out and just behaviors that they didn't know how to deal with.
Some of those traits and things that we had grown into working around or working with, other people weren't able to do. So he ended up in a daycare, and he ended up in a situation where people didn't know what to do. So I picked him up one day and they said he can't come back. At that point, it's like, okay, I know something's different. What is it?
We know from research and from the clients that we serve that many people are diagnosed with autism after the age of 3. They're diagnosed with autism later in childhood, as adolescents, or as adults. So as part of the Think Autism program, we developed this screening mechanism that can be easily used in schools and in other places and in doctors' offices to help identify older children and teens and adults with autism.
About that time, the school said, hey, there's this program, the screener program that we think that he would be a really good fit for. Like, what do you think about that? And we were like, yes, please. we jumped on the opportunity. Sure enough, they red flagged him for like 7 different things. And they were all things that like we hadn't been able to put into words.
Until he hit kindergarten and hit that screener, and somebody was able to be like, this is what it is. This is why he is this way.
One of the benefits of this screener is that it can be used very easily in universal screening programs that take place in schools. So the screener and the program allows us to think autism when we see a collection of these kinds of behaviors in older children or teens, and we want to be able to identify those behaviors and get an appropriate evaluation so we can lead them toward appropriate, more effective treatment.
When he received the diagnosis in kindergarten, it was this feeling of relief. We finally had an answer to all of these questions that we had been asking.
The screener really solidified the direction that we had to go in, and it stopped the confusion. It allowed us to stop chasing our tails and really begin to move forward.
If a child is diagnosed with autism early enough, then the intervention and treatment that can be offered associated with autism can help build that child's skills and get them closer to where their typically developing peers are performing.
The screener gave us access to more services from SARC that without a diagnosis that we just couldn't get access to. So like ABA therapy and access to the comprehensive program has been really big for us.
For him to go through all of the therapy, working with the team and working with his therapist at the school, at the house, and everything else, learning how to do these things, like now he stands up and he advocates for himself.
The screening is the thing that leads to the appropriate diagnosis. And the appropriate diagnosis is the piece that leads to the appropriate and effective treatment.
SARC's support for our family, it means everything. It means so much. It is Michael learning independence. For him to be like, I am me, and be able to interact with other people and be confident in who he is.
SARC support means everything to me and my family. He's learning how to navigate in a world that's not set up for him, and he's learning how to navigate that and still